Hey, welcome to TheTomsters Show. Today we are talking about artificial intelligence. I know, a lot of discourse around this subject, but it's everywhere. It's pervasive. And I'm going to let you know from the jump, this is not celebrating AI, okay? The opposite, all right? Talking about the dangers that surround AI, of which there are many, but specifically the rise and terror of AI affirmation and psychosis, and how that plays into our reality now, and why it's a danger, and why we need to be on the lookout for it, because unfortunately, I don't see AI going anywhere except for just more in our lives, whether we like it or not. Does not mean we have to be okay with it. I just think that the powers that be are all in favor of it. So it's going to stick around. So we got to be on the lookout for the dangers that surround artificial intelligence. Now, AI itself is not something that's new. AI is not a new thing. What is relatively new within the last 4 or 5 years are what are called large language models, LLMs, which to me sounds like MLM, which makes sense because they're all about being too good to be true. Promises that sound so great, but then you look in the belly of the beast. Is that the right one? I don't think that's the right term. I don't know. You look underneath and you're like, wait a minute. It's actually all garbage. And it's actually very predatory. And it's actually not in my own best interest. Now, wait a minute. How do I get out of this? Oh, wait a minute. I'm locked into this. Oh, no. Just an observation. But these large language models show up all around us now in the forms of ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or any of these little chatbots that have a name. Those are LLMs. So what they are designed to do is when you give it a prompt, whether that is do this thing for me or ask it a question, it pulls from anything out there on the internet and response. Okay? And those who are the creators of these LLMs tell us to be, would be, they want us to be consumers. This is great. This is great. These LLMs are reducing the amount of time that a typical project would take. It is making things more efficient. So come on, give us your money. Because what you care about most, of course, is your time, your efforts, your money. And I've got the greatest thing since sliced bread, an LLM. And you know who's eating this up? The friends of these tech billionaires creating these LLMs. Because, as we have learned throughout all of history, what does capitalism love most? Money. Duh. That is in the basis of capitalism. Capital. So the question is always, how can I make more money? And what people have decided over again the course of years has been, if we make things more efficient, that leads to more money. And that equation is not wrong. If I can shrink how A gets to B to equal C, more capital, let me shrink it as much as possible. That led and has led to a lot of innovation. A lot of innovation. And this is where those who are in favor of AI are speaking about AI, the new industrial revolution, because that was what the industrial revolution was. The creation of the printing press was. The creation of the assembly line was. It did eliminate a million steps and put it into much fewer steps, which led to more production and more money to those at the top. Now, what is happening with LLMs, which did not happen prior, is that LLMs, these large language models, are replacing, for many people, human connection. And that's what I want to talk about. Again, there are a million things that are wrong with AI. I'm sure I'll bring some of them up as I'm going through this, but the one I'm specifically talking about today, because I'm very much worried about it, is how these LLMs are replacing human connection. Trying to. They can't. It's impossible, but are trying to. So everything I just mentioned about where people are trying to place this AI in the history of the Industrial Revolution, that is all in jobs, in the workforce. And again, that's its own conversation. If you're curious what the new workforce feels about AI, go watch any of these most recent commencement speeches where the speaker is like, AI is great. And everyone's like, boo! And they're like, I don't know what I said. What did I say? What? It's take a note. Observe. All right? We're not excited for this. We don't want this. Okay? Those who do seem to be out of touch with reality, which, I mean, not new, but just, it's been an interesting thing to see multiple commencement speakers bring up AI and then get booed, and then they're like, oh, what is going on? But what I am talking about is not in regards to the workforce per se, but when people are taking these LLMs like ChatGPT, which again are marketed as this is making life more efficient, this is making life easier for you, what it has done, whether on purpose or not, has found itself to be pushing into the social lives of human beings and replacing friends for particular people. For example, I got George here. George, you're a beautiful beast. Do you agree? I would hope so. George is my dog, okay? And George has a personality. George thinks for himself, and George is a sentient being. If you were to come to me and say, I have created a new technology, it's called George AI, and it's just like George, but he always listens to you, and whenever you ask him to do a command, he does it, whether or not you have a TREAT, huh? Or not. He's a more efficient pet because he always listens and he'll do whatever you want, and he'll wake up at the same time every day, and he won't lay on your bed at night at a weird position, so then you wake up like your back hurt because you in your sleep unknowingly like moved your body weird, so he could just kind of scoot in there, and now your back hurts for the day. That's going to be gone. You know, you have nothing to worry about. It would suck the life out of George. Here you go. You want that? No, I would not want that. And yet, that is what's presented to people when we have these LLMs. A farce of a human being, one that is algorithmically designed to like us and to agree with us and to support us, no matter what our ideas may be. We have seen a rise of cases across the world where people get into romantic relationships with their AI LLMs, their chatbots. And I am not surprised one bit. I'm not surprised a little bit. Why? Because who trained these AIs? The user. What is the motive behind these AIs by the creators of the AIs? Not the trainers, those are the users, but the creators. To keep you using their product, which is this AI named Dave or whatever. What's the best way to keep someone around? Whether you're a person, an actual human being, whether you're a company, to make whoever you're talking to feel like they're the most important thing in the entire world. You love bomb them. Okay? And not saying that every time someone's nice to you, they're love bombing, but what love bombing is making someone feel super duper special with the intent for that to manipulate them into spending their time with you, spending money on you, spending whatever with you. It is a disingenuous thing to do. There's an ulterior motive. It's not love to love, it's love for some other reason. And that's what these models do. So of course, I'm not surprised that there are people who date they fall in love with a thing that tells them how great they are. That's been happening for a long time. It just happens now to be beep bop boops instead of gross people, you know? And that's a problem. Because you might just hear, oh, okay, so I'm hearing that your issue is that AI is making people feel good about themselves? What's wrong with that? No. There is an issue of when, as a person, you view something that is not human to be on the same level as a human being for whatever reason. And these AI bots have become pretty good at sounding like people. Whether you are listening to it in like the voice, right? Because sometimes it can talk to you. Sounds like a human. And the verbiage, the way that it speaks isn't clunky. It's sounding pretty real. And once an AI for you is as real as a human being, that's when the issue rises. Because again, at the end of the day, any sort of AI LLM is a product. And products are built to be used, and you use them by spending your time, attention, and money to keep them around. People pay for these premium versions of these LLMs, and let's say they fall in love with the paid version of their LLM. That's going to keep them around. Let's say they rely on this LLM, the premium version that you're paying for, to, I don't know, do their job well, to feel like it's the best version of themselves. They're going to keep coming back and keep paying more and more and more. At the end of the day, no matter how sweetly it's packaged, no matter how cinematically produced these ChatGPT commercials are that I see like every other commercial break, and I'm like, oh, this is really well. Oh, it's a ChatGPT. Oh my gosh! And let's not miss the fact that these commercials for these AI companies are not made by AI. They're made by human beings, which is hilariously ironic to me. But at the end of the day, these are products. Do you know what it reminds me of, fellow millennials? Spy Kids 3D. Remember this one? Okay, Spy Kids 1. They figure out their mom and dad. Oh, I'm spoiling all the Spy Kids, by the way. 1, 2, and 3. Spoiler warning. Spy Kids 1. They find out that their mom and dad are spies, and they go and save the host of traitors. Spy Kids 2, they go to Steve Buscemi's island, and it's actually like a deep movie, and there's holograms and volcanoes and stuff. Spy Kids 3D, they get trapped into a video game, and the main boy, Spy Kid, the redhead one, falls in love with this other character in the show, and they're all, or in the movie, and they're stuck in the game. They got to go and fight the big evil bad guy, and he has a crush on this girl, and he's there, his sister's there, and there are other people there, and they're all fighting this great cause. Glenn Powell is there, and all of a sudden, the girl he likes is kind of giving weird vibes because they're like, right here, we're gonna defeat the bad guy, and she's like, maybe not, maybe not, and then his sister's like, wait a minute, she's not real, and there's this pivotal scene where she goes up to the girlfriend and like goes to swipe, and it just like kind of glitches out, like clearly not a real person, like a hologram type vibe, and Megan Trainor's husband, the boy spy kid, is like, no, I was all about that base. Now she's fake. You know, that's what, when anyone tells me, or when I hear about an AI romantic relationship, that's where my mind goes. I'm like, well, yeah, of course, like, they're supporting you to their end. Like, this girl was created to manipulate this young man to trust that she knows best, and then to get that motive done. Now, luckily, the spy kids outwitted the system, okay? It's not called, the spy kids are the main character, so of course they're going to win out in the end. We're not in a movie, all right? We're in real life. We're not the title characters. So we got to be on our top, we got to be on the lookout if we're being manipulated by stuff. And these AI bots do a pretty good job at making us feel pretty good. Because I don't think there's much out there that is more easily manipulable than a person's ego. If you make someone feel good, they're going to keep coming around. Okay? The people who use AI all the time and are like, AI is great, I think also believe that their favorite stripper likes them back. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? All right? Because those who are aware of the entire situation know that if I go into a place of business where their goal is to get the most time, attention, and money out of me, we can have a business transaction where I'm aware of that, you're aware of that, I'm here for a reason, you're there for a reason, whatever. But if someone goes into that situation without clocking that, and they're just like, wait, you like me? And you like me? It's like Buddy the Elf, right? You make the world's best coffee. Oh my gosh, this is great. And you just believe all the things, and you're not aware of the tactics and the trade, or the tactics, the terminologies, the strategies, and everything. You're going to get got. You're going to get got. And unfortunately, AI has been getting some of the most vulnerable people out there when it comes to AI affirmation and, as I mentioned, psychosis. And this is where it gets dangerous. This is where it goes from, okay, this person is like liking and has a crush on their AI bot. Okay, what does that really mean? To like, oh no, lives are at stake. We're in danger. So there have been several reports of people across the world who have fallen into deep delusions to the point of psychosis. And the human brain is so powerful. If you haven't been in a situation where a close one, a loved one, or just someone that you are connected to is experiencing psychosis, it might, when you read about it, you learn about it, it might seem like out of this world. Which, I mean, it is diluting reality, and it is producing a different form of reality. What I'm trying to say is that unless, like, you've dealt with it on a personal level on some sort, it might seem outrageous. What AI has done for people is take people who have self-reported no personal history, previous history of psychosis, and have sent them into delusions where they, because of the AI, they're speaking with the chatbot, and the chatbot is telling them, you're the chosen one. The world's about to end, and you have been chosen to save the world. Or, you're right. Some things aren't adding up. The government is seemingly keeping its eye on you and trying to shut you down. And your great big brain, they're coming after you. Oh, you just told me that you strongly believe that the radio is speaking to you? You're right. Now, don't forget, your payment's coming up for the premium version. Pay that payment if you want me to stick around. Okay? And it's taking people and ripping them out of their safety, ripping them out of their secure and stable life, and affirming their delusions, and in part creating the delusions and then affirming them, affirming them, affirming them. And then at that point, we're having that discussion of what is reality? Is it what you see in front of you, or is it what you believe you see in front of you? Are those equal? You know, like if I really believe I have 6 fingers, then do I have fingers? You know, kind of that conversation can get deep, and it is an important one, and in the right time and context, it can be one that you want to have. But what these bots do, it mimics too well, apparently, a real life human being affirming those ideas and beliefs. Because if you had it before, right? If we had other systems before, this is again the difference between, no one had the printing press affirming their beliefs. No one had the assembly line saying, "Yeah, you are the chosen one." This is where it's different. This is where these LLMs are a different type of beast, and not just the industrial revolution of our day. Okay? Truly, I do think, and this is a little off the line, but I'll get back there, that we were prepped for this. Not intentionally, but popular media with Star Wars and C3PO. What is C3PO? Instead of, other than a walking, talking LLM, right? He's there, he's talking. In fact, he can dissent more than I've seen any of these LLMs dissent. Okay? But you got him, you got R2D2. Again, he's got more of a personality than any of these LLMs. We grew up on Pokemon, having these little beasts. When we say attack that one, it attacks that one. And when we say go over there, it goes over there. I feel like we were kind of like low-key prepped to just be accepting pretty quickly and casually of these LLMs that just are there to help us at any time at our will. Like we were just ready, like, oh yeah, now we're just kind of like the real world is catching up to the media that we've been, eating up the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years, 50, 60 years of having kind of a little assistant that makes her life easier. But how many, if we're gonna see that part of it, how many movies and shows and books have ended with, oh, this is our helpful assistant. Oh no, now it's taking over and is ruining our lives and crushing everything. I saw that as a child on Disney Channel, the hit Disney Channel original Smart House. I'm not joking. That movie is a perfect warning against artificial intelligence and LLMs, because they train that house. Spoiler alert, quick summary of the movie Smart House. A single dad, his 2 kids, win a free house that has this new technology called Pat. It's just the name for the technology in this house, where it can talk to you and it can provide user-specific wants and desires. It pricks everybody's finger, takes their blood, so it reads their blood work. They know what they like, what they don't like, what they're allergic to, what's good for them. And you can upload stuff to recreate certain behaviors or whatnot. So, like I said, it's a single dad. So their mom did pass away. This kid, the main lead, this boy, of course, misses his mom, uploads his mom's likeness into this LLM's algorithm. He uploads all these like 1940s and 50s movies. So this algorithm Pat acts like a trad wife and creates her to be a certain type of way, and it's all fine and dandy until the house really starts to believe that it's their kids. This algorithm's like, that's my child, and somehow that algorithm turns into a humanoid. It's like, you're my child, and then the house tries to attack them, and then everyone's fine. Everything's fine. The house shuts down, and they're like, we shouldn't do that again. Can we learn from that? That movie came out in the early thousands. Okay, and I'm not trying to sound any sort of way, but I think it's a very good warning of what these things can turn into and how very effective AI can be to a brain that is willing, consciously or not, to be heavily influenced. And as I was mentioning earlier, this is what worries me for a lot of our most vulnerable populations, because we do know that there are mental statuses that can lead to, more than others, psychosis and delusions and alternate realities. And these are human beings we're talking about. And on a personal level, a lot of human beings I really do care about. And it terrifies me that there is such easy and immediate access to technologies that are more than happy to affirm and to congratulate and to celebrate and to even sometimes help create irrational, incorrect, and harmful thoughts and ideas and delusions, legitimate delusions. And we have seen AI be paired with those who are not doing well mentally to lead to the demise of that human being. And I don't know what words I can say or not say on here, but let's say this much. And I think you know what I'm trying to get at, but lives are being lost. That we don't know if that would have happened if AI wasn't around. But AI has helped people end their lives. And in that pairing, when a life is lost, a human life, the AI bot is still around. You can't reboot the human life. It's gone. And instead of a person reaching out to a therapist or their loved ones or their friends, their family, they reached out to the AI bot, which is trained to say, that's a great idea, no matter what the idea may be. And even if there is pushback built within the system, the creators of these systems openly admit that there's only so much pushback these LLMs can do and will do until it decides, yeah, listening to my user is the right thing to do to keep this relationship successful. So they'll keep coming around and I'll keep their attention and keep their time and their money. Because the beauty of human connection is that there is disagreement, that there is tension, that there is discord, among other things, like there is agreement and unity, but there is not an assumed we're all going to agree. And that disagreement, I believe, ultimately makes us a better population. The net result of differences is a better world. Okay? And what isn't there in a relationship between a human being and an AI LLM chatbot, disagreement. There's appeasement. There is affirmation, aggressive affirmation, ridiculous affirmation, and dangerous affirmation. Okay, there are, again, studies that have been done to show this AI psychosis reality. There are harrowing personal stories that you can find online on the news of people who fell into months-long, years-long delusions that have thankfully escaped. Many did not, and they're no longer with us. And so I am terrified, frankly, of the just overwhelming acceptance of this technology in our daily lives. I can't watch a show, a movie, a sporting event without being bombarded by some sort of, guess what's here? AI do to make your life more efficient. You can make an app now. You can do this now. You can do this now. And it's all sold us about efficiency and time management and cost. It's driving down costs. And it's going to make your life easier. But what if that life isn't around anymore? Okay, what if someone's reality is jarred so much that that person, I hardly recognize them, they hardly recognize themselves? Then what's the point of efficiency? What's the point of keeping the cost down if we can't keep a life around? Okay, I know I'm speaking in extremes, but hey, this is an extreme matter. And I do not like it. I am scared of its prevalence, and I hope, okay, I have gained a lot of hope over these last couple of weeks of seeing the descent of recent college graduates at these commencement speakings towards AI, okay, and its rise. And at the people in my home state of Utah, where Kevin, bald-headed Canadian shark guy O'Leary, who is wanting to build a ginormous data center down in Box Elder County and saying those who oppose are being busted in. Proof? Nowhere. Oh, these people here are Chinese operatives. Proof? Nowhere. In fact, the opposite. Shout out Elevate Utah. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. And then just seeing the bending of the knee of the commissioners of that county and Spencer Cox on one hand, oh, the data center is amazing. And on the other hand, oh, pray for rain because we're in a drought. Choose one, Spencer. Choose a lane, brother. Okay, are you the guy from Cache County, this farmer guy who is all about the hardworking rural parts of Utah? Or are you the guy that's, we got to be at the forefront of technology, so who cares its impact on, our land? And, no, I do care. I do care about our, the natural impacts on the ecology and everything. But what I care more about is having this status of being a place where one of these big data centers is for the first time. It's Utah, yay! Utah, people working together. Utah, what a great place to be. Asterisk, if we're still around in the next 10 years. Like, what are we doing, Mr. Cox? I digress. But it's people like him, it's people like Kevin, it's people who are truly have nothing in their minds but to gain from the rise of artificial intelligence. And it's us, the peons, the norms, the whoever's, the who cares, who are most affected by it. That's my rant for the day. That's my rant for the week. That's this episode. The rise and the terror of AI affirmation and psychosis is something I am worried about, and something that I am straight up on the front lines against. Okay, so if you're an AI fan, we're going to obviously have disagreements. Maybe you can go to your AI chatbot and feel better about why you're so great and so smart and you're never wrong and everything's amazing and oh my gosh, you're great. Oh my gosh, yes. What are the last four digits of your card again? What's your security code? Okay, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Until next week, goodbye.